You're moving to Tajikistan?
Anna, we're assigning you to the American Corner and English Access Microscholarship program in Gharm, in the Rasht Valley.
Tajikistan? Is that how you say it? Where is that?
Tajikistan is a country that is, you can even see it in the map, and it's a country on the map. It's a very tiny, teeny, small country, and it's in the corner of Africa.
They're sending you to Gharm?
Oh, bacha, ты да, Гharm зиндаги мекни.
You live in Gharm.
В Гарме живешь?
Man dar Gharm zindagi meکنم.
Я живу в Гарме.
I live in the Gharm.
I live in Gharm.
Мы в Гарме живем.
I live in Gharm, and I love it.
Where is the Rasht Valley?
The Rasht Valley is located in a region, Republican subordination, which is in Tajikistan, which is in Central Asia. In the north are the Oloy and the Rakshon mountains. In the east are the Pasioloy and Academia and Hong mountains. And in the south are the Daros mountains. These mountains are more than 5,500 meters. The distance from Rasht Valley to the capital of Tajikistan, Dushanbe, is 180 kilometers.
Now I'm going to talk about the 6 districts in Rasht Valley. In Rasht Valley there are 6 districts. There are Rogun, Nurobod, Chalindara, Rasht, Tojikobod and Jilgado. The territory of Rasht is about 7.1 square kilometer. The center of Rasht is Gharm. The population of Rasht is 2,800. The which located is Gharm. The population of Gharm is 1,200.
Rasht Valley is very rich in natural resources. Rasht Valley has water, coal, aluminium, and marble. Nazararo and Kamaro are known for their around Tajikistan. About 800 hectares of Rasht Valley is garden and forest. Rasht Valley has good soil for growing trees, and nowadays people want to increase the cow, sheep, goat, and horses. People want to increase cow for their milk and sheep for their wool.
There are many roads in Rasht Valley. The longest road is Var, which is in Rogo. It's about 524 kilometers long. The rain through Gharm is called Tulqo. It starts in the mountain of Delgatol and ends in Nurobo. Also, there are numerous hot springs, which is used for medicinal purposes. One of the most famous hot springs is in Obigaro.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history?
The first known name of Rasht Valley was the Qumor. We know that the Tajik poet Babajan Ghafuro wrote that the Qumor people lived on the Surkho River, where probably the name comes from. The next Rasht Valley called Karatagin Valley.
Why did the people call it Karatagin Valley? The Russian author Kislakov tells the story like this. The king of this region was Teginato. When he died, his son, named Kara, became the new king. Because of widespread disease, Kara left this region and go to what is now Kyrgyzstan. And there he met his wife Teginoy. They came back in this region when it was safe. After they died, people called it Karatagin Valley.
In the 1920s, during the organization of border within the Soviet Union, the Gharm Oblast mapped the area that is now Rasht Valley was created. In March 1931, the Gharm district, which had been called the Rasht district since 2001, about formed.
The word Gharm means angry, and it's possible that the name comes from a legend about the troll in the area. Other people say that the name comes from Ghur, which means mountain, or Ghurm, which means mountain goat, or Gharam, which means a lot of things together. The name Rasht comes from the word Rasht, and which means red dust and a lot of rain.
The Gharm continues to grow. There are many buildings and services, including the American corner, which was established in 2012, and the new government office, which was completed in 2013.
What is there to see in Rasht Valley?
There are lots of things to see in Rasht Valley, including but are not limited to Gharm, Jafar, and the statues of mothers in Hoy, Kamaro, and the stone of the bride and groom in Vardut, and the Buzkashi Games.
Gharm is center of Rasht Valley. It's situated on the Surkhab River and near the mountain. It's a beautiful town. The distance from Gharm to Dushanbe is 180 kilometers. As you approach Gharm, you will see signs that you know you're here. Gharm has one main street called Ismail Somon Street. Most government buildings and banks are on this street. The first place that you pass in Gharm is taxi station. Gharm has the following that might be of interest to visitors: school number 1, park, McDonald's, bazaar, and the mountain pastoralist. The office is an excellent view of Gharm. School number 1 is famous in Rasht because it's in the center of Gharm, and it's a beautiful school, and many students travel to study in this school. The other main is school number 52.
The park, the stadium, and the old Seria pool, which we don't remember even being used, are on the right of Ismail Somoni Street. Sometimes concerts or other events in the park. The local teams play soccer in the stadium in the evening. The House of Culture on Ismail Somoni Street has library and museums. There are special events during the holidays.
The American colony is the U.S. Embassy-sponsored community space and library. It has been here on the 6th floor of this building since 2012. Anybody can come here to use the books, computers, and internet for free. During the school year, there are also English classes taught by Fulbright English Teaching Assistant.
In the very center of Gharm, past the American corner, there are two big bazaars. There are more than 100 people who sell food, clothes, and anything else. The bazaar is open weekdays until 5 p.m. and Saturday mornings. To get a view of Gharm, walk along Ismail Somoni Street until you see the Ismail Somoni statue. Turn left before and walk about 10 minutes toward the USAID bridge, and you always see walk past and toward the big mountain. It's a relatively easy hike. From this mountain, you can see all of Gharm and also the surrounding villages.
Jafari's village in Rasht district. It's 18 kilometers from Gharm in the direction of Kyrgyzstan. The village was named after 1949 earthquake and rock slide that killed 3,000 people there. Today there is many places to see, including the Botanic Garden and the museum.
The name of the museum is Kusori Ajam. It's a wonderful place for tourists. There is 2,000 different types of artifacts, including the books, clothing, jewelry, pottery, and weapons. A man named Mirza Shah Kabirov has been collecting these artifacts from people in Rasht Valley since 1980s. Currently, the museum located near Mirza Shah's home.
But the biggest three-floor building is being built nearby. The new museum located in Botanic Garden, where Mirza Shah experimented with the different grafting and technique to order perceive local fruit trees. He grows 52 types of apples, 34 types of pears, 24 types of apricots, 12 types of grapes, and 8 types of cherries. He also keeps 20 big colonies and produces over 500 kilograms of honey in a year. In this garden, there is also a guest house where tourists can stay. Muhammad Amin will provide more information later. Being the mountains, there is a spot for camping that tourists can use. Mirza Shah has a 4 tent and yard, which is the Kyrgyz houses.
Mirza Shah works as a tourist guide and offers horse trick for $20 a day. You can ride horses in around Jafar, which is beautiful because it has many plants and trees, nearby mountains and rivers.
Hoyat is one of the furthest villages in Rasht district near Tajikistan. In 1949, there was an earthquake that killed 70% of people. Because many of the people who died were women, the government put mass status in here, and all people visit this statue, and after that it was broken. After that, after more years, with helping famous singer Zafar Nozim, this statue created again. Now this statue stayed in the one of the park in Hoyt.
When you want to come to the visiting the Maz statues, there are two directions. The first one is the Asian road that it had a lot of problems. The second one is the perfect way that it runs from the Tajikistan district. And for 1 hour, for one person, it takes 20 somoni. And to get here, it takes 1 hour.
Rasht Valley has many beautiful places. One of them is Kamaro, which is a village in Rasht district located an hour from Gharm and the direction of Naobo. Kamaro has many beautiful places, and every year many tourists come to Kamaro to see this beautiful place and they have good times. Kamaro has good nature. In the summer the weather is very cool because it's in the middle of the mountain and it has a river. By the river bank there are many shady trees. People who live near believe that the rivers of Kamarok are very useful for their health. Those rivers are named Safedov, which means white water, and Shlar. In Kamarok there is a summer camp. It was built by the Educational Department of Tajikistan. Every year more than hundreds of people come to this summer camp to have a good time. And also Kamarok was home to one of Tajikistan's most famous poets by the name Bokira Zoda. Bokira Zoda was born in Shordov village in Kamarok. In Kamarok also is official sanctuary.
Stone of Bride and Groom. This stone located in Rasht district, but in Varduch village. This village is in Rasht, but 10 kilometers from Gharm. This stone has a long legend. One day in Asia time, one boy and one girl they had a wedding. But unfortunately during their wedding, a terrorist come to their house. But they are frightened and they ran away. They went to the mountains and they praying and asked God to help them. But God turned them into the stone. Now they are like stones and many people visit them. And it's a beautiful place for the hiking. For this reason, many people are coming to here.
Now I want to tell you about Buzkashi in Rasht Valley. People like this game and play during the winter. Buzkashi play in Afghanistan and other Central Asia's country has a long history. Some older men say that in Asia time, when people saw two dogs pulling a goat and got an idea, after they saw that our valley has a long winter, some people have no things to do, they just sit at home. If we take our horses and went to some field with a died goat, we can play Buzkashi and enjoy our time. Nowadays, Buzkashi is a popular game in Tajikistan, but it's especially in Rasht Valley. Almost all men go to participate or watching Buzkashi. The different village during the winter in Sunday they take turn organizing games in snow-covered field. The rules can be different. If a horseman put a goat in a turn, he wins. The price of Buzkashi can be sheep, goat, money, or the car. The game usually lasts all day. Here is one place that during the winter people play Buzkashi and people stay in the mountains. They must have care because the horse sometimes runs up.
Is there anything to do in winter besides Buzkashi?
Winter is a good time for Sligo. Yahoo! Opa!
I'm planning on visiting Gharm, so I have a lot of questions. First, how do I get there?
Actually, there are two kinds of transportation, taxis and minibuses. The taxis are more comfortable, also are more expensive. The fares, we can pay the 50 somonis per seat, and there are 4 seats. And the minibuses are more cheaper than the taxis. There are 8 seats, and we can pay 35 or 40 somonis. And there are 8 seats. We can find the taxis or minibuses in the dock station in Dushanbe, and the taxis or minibuses drop you off the main streets in the Gharm district near the school number 1.
There are two kinds of transportation from the central Gharm to another part. During each season, the price of sleeping taxi is different. In the winter, taxis are more expensive, but in the summer are cheaper. Why? Because in the winter there is ice and snow everywhere, so it is risky for driver. The price gas also goes up. To get to Naldi city cost 3 somoni. To get to Jafar city cost 5 somoni. To get to Kamarov city cost 8 somoni. There are also minibus a little bit cheaper.
Where can I stay?
In Gharm, there are two places to stay. One of them in Hotel Wahdat, and other thing it's opened by the Developed Society MSSP. Wahdat Hotel is one of the expensive hotels in Gharm district, and it's situated near the bazaar, and it has many rooms, including expensive and cheaper. And luxury rooms, it's called 150 somoni until 300 somoni, and shade rooms, it's cost 20 or 40 somoni only for 5 or 8 people. And Wahdat Hotel doesn't have a breakfast, but it has a restaurant where you can pay and buy a meals. The MSSP guest house is on the main street above the first microfinance bank. It's not library. Rooms cost $20 per person, breakfast $3 per person, and dinner costs $5 per person.
Finally, there is guest house in Jaffa, which is about 18 kilometers away from Gharm district, in the direction of Kyrgyzstan. It has 2 Tajikistan rooms, and cost is $10 per person per night. Breakfast is $4, dinner and lunch is $5. At the second floor, there are similar local handicrafts for sale.
Where should I eat?
Where to eat? We had a lot of restaurants and cafeterias in Gharm, and the prices of food is affordable for everyone. We have 4 main restaurants, 2 of them right over the central bazaar and the taxi station, and across the MSDSP guest house. They are above each other. There is another restaurant next to the megaphone office and the central bazaar. The last restaurant is Khujandi. It is across from the megaphone office. It's called Khujandi because the cookers from the Khujan is in the north of the country.
All these restaurants are like cafeteria. And most people who live in Gharm eat lunch at home, but the people who work in Gharm but live far from Gharm, they eat lunch here. There is no menu, the waitress can't tell you what they have, and your order. All these restaurants make traditionally Tajik food like kurtob, shakarov, and other food you can eat. And the price of food ranges from 10 to 50 somoni per person.
Usually men have lunch in these restaurants. It's men who is working. Women also can come if they want. But visitors should know that during the Ramadan, the restaurants didn't work, but these restaurants work even during the Ramadan. It's a restaurant which is above the megaphone office.
What should I bring with me?
Everyone should know that we have cold winters and hot summers. If you come during the winter, you should bring warm clothing and good hiking boots. In the spring and the fall, you should bring an umbrella because it often rains.
We also recommended a good jacket, sweater, and rain boots.
Gharm and especially the surrounding villages are very conservative, so keep this in mind when you are packing. Also, we want to remind you to bring motion medicine because the road between Dushanbe and Gharm is very bumpy at times.
What makes the Rasht Valley special?
There are many things that make our valley special, but we want to tell about some of them, which is important ones. We think that things which make Rasht Valley special are the people, organization, bread made by the women, honey made by the older people, and famous people like heroes, poets, and writers who were from the area.
The first thing that makes Russia special is of course the people. Most people who live here are from here rather than from other parts of the country. We called ourselves Gharmi. When most people think of Rasht Valley, they think of it being conservative region. This is a large because girls and women wear traditional dress and they have a long hair. Some but not all women wear hijab and they always have a long hair. It is very important in Rasht Valley. And all the men have good traditional dress, with traditional clothes, and they usually wear hats called turkey.
People in Rasht Valley are very religious. Everybody is Muslim, but only men go to the mosque. In Gharm there are about 8 mosques, but there is very big one not far from the center. On Fridays, many men from surrounding village come to pray in this mosque.
Rasht Valley has many international organizations, including Organization Security Cooperation Europe, the United Nations Development Program, the World Food Program, and Music Hall. These organizations are usually staffed by locals rather than foreigners. Very few foreigners live in Gharm. Because of this, people are excited when they see visitors are always willing to help.
Tajik people are hospitable. They like guests, not only foreigners, but also Tajik visitors.
Everybody!
Gharm also home in English Access Microscholarship program, which is another USA embassy provide free English lesson to teenagers. The Access classes near an American corner. The Access program began in 2007. Since then, about 300 students have a complete program. This means that about 300 young people in Rasht Valley know and can speak English very well, and they are always happy to have visitors with translation.
Women in Rasht Valley make really big and very delicious bread. It's called girdacha. Whenever someone important like a president or a foreign guest come to visit in our valley, women make our national bread for them. This bread has different name than it does in another part of Tajikistan, and it also has a different name.
The Rasht Valley is also known for its honey. The weather here allows beekeepers to raise many bees colonies and produce a lot of honey twice a year. One at the end of the May and another at the end of the August. The honey of the Rasht Valley is red, and also the honey of the Rasht district is different than another part of the Tajikistan. For example, in Rasht district the honey is red, in another part the honey is yellow or orange. Also, the people who produce honey in Rasht district, they sell it in another part of the country.
Many of Tajikistan's national heroes, writers, and poets are from Rasht Valley. They include Nusratullah Mahsum, Ruhani, Ali Khush, Waqi Rahimzadeh, and Iraj Mirza. Many of these streets are named after these heroes. People can learn about this individual or look at their books. In Gharm's Culture House, which has a small museum. There is also a statue of Nusratullah Mahsum in Shul village, which is not far from Gharm, in the direction of Dushanbe.
I wish I was in Gharm.
This video was made by students of the English Access Microscholarship program in Gharm with the generous grant of a US Embassy in Dushanbe. We thank you for watching and we invite you to visit our beautiful valley.